What a marvel of art and engineering. Whenever I see churches, I get inspired. I went to Rome a few years ago and I was lucky enough to have a few days just to wander around and see all the cathedrals, and to be honest, I didn't really understand much of the history. I more just took in the atmosphere, and it was incredible. And I come back here to a local church and it reminds me of the love that went into building these huge structures, and they're very unique. If you look nowadays, we don't really see stuff like that. We see big mounds of concrete and glass and steel, which doesn't really inspire within the heart. There's something about these buildings which was done with love, and I think that's really important. And why did they put so much effort in? It's because they had love for God. But I don't want to get too much ahead of myself and start speaking about that. Let's just ask the question, what is love in this world anyway, just generally? And then maybe we can start getting on to the question of what is love for God. So I'm going to hand over now to our monk at Krishna Wisdom Studios.
Seems ironic that a monk is sitting here talking to you about love. The fact of the matter is, love is something much deeper than the romance we see on TV sitcoms. The Bhagavad Gita differentiates love from lust. And in the world today, we can often get those two things mixed up. Love is all about giving. Lust is about taking. Love is all about commitment, whereas lust is fleeting. Love is spiritual, whereas lust is sensual. Love is all about making a sacrifice, whereas lust is simply enjoyment. Love is about the internals, and lust is simply superficial and external. In its deepest sense, love is selfless, whereas lust is selfish. When a great teacher was once asked, what's the difference between loving something and liking something? The saintly person replied by pointing to a flower. And he said, if you like that flower, then you'll go over to the flower, you'll pick it, and you'll smell it. But if you love that flower, you'll go over to it and you'll nourish it, you'll water it, and you'll protect it. Therefore, next time we think we love someone or we love something, let's question the depth of our selflessness, because the depth of our love is proportionate to the purity of our selflessness. The Bhagavad Gita defines the current cosmic age that we're living in as the age of Kali, or the age of quarrel, conflict, disagreement. In this age, for people to get along nicely with each other is a real challenge. In terms of improving relationships, we could give many ideas and pointers. We could talk about patience and investing in people, having commitment, and when one feels certain emotions coming, withholding and tolerating. We could talk about acceptance, understanding and appreciating people for who they are, instead of trying to make everyone like us. We could talk about assistance, not just offering nice words to people, but actually helping them and serving them and assisting them to be the best they can. All of these things will help to engender better relationships. But the Bhagavad Gita gives us one key quality in order to have better relationships in the world, and that is transcendence. When we connect with God, and when we connect with the supreme root of the universe, then our ability to relate to everything and everyone within the universe becomes proportionately expanded. In her Calcutta monastery, Mother Teresa had a poem scribed by her bedside entitled "Do It Anyway." There she wrote, "People are often irrational, self-centered and selfish. forgive them anyway. The good you do today will often be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfish, ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you're honest and sincere, people may well cheat and deceive you. Be honest anyway. You see, she says, it's between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. It's a beautiful poem because it reminds us that each one of us have a connection with God. And when we're rooted in that relationship, nourished by that relationship, and feeling incredible satisfaction from that vertical connection with God, then in all our horizontal relationships with everyone, we can continue giving the best of ourselves, even when we don't receive the reciprocation we expect. So the best way to engender better relationships is by becoming spiritually fulfilled and then relating to others in a spirit of giving the best we have. Any relationship is developed on the basis of attraction. In that sense, being attracted to God is completely natural. In fact, the Sanskrit name for God given in the Bhagavad Gita is Krishna, which literally means etymologically the all-attractive one. In Sanskrit, Krishna's qualities are thus described: Aishvaryasya samagrasya Viryasya yashashashriya Jnanavairagyayascheva Sanam Bhaga Itin Gana. Krishna is said to possess all strength, all fame, all wealth, all knowledge, and all renunciation. It is actually entirely natural for us to be attracted towards Krishna, but we may question why that natural attraction doesn't seem to come to us so spontaneously. If you imagine a magnet covered by rust, although its potential to connect with a metal piece is innately present within the magnet, because of the rust surrounding it, that natural interaction doesn't take place. In the same way, the soul is naturally attracted towards God, towards Krishna. But because surrounded and covered by layers of material illusion, material desires and material conceptions, that love and that natural flowing of the consciousness towards God doesn't arise. And therefore the teachers of the tradition of the Bhagavad Gita explain that when we engage in spiritual practices on a daily basis of meditation, of yoga, of spiritual study, and of practical service to others and service to God, then these practices gradually reawaken the dormant love which is within each and every living entity for God.
Take two, this is the one, ready? Okay. So it's all about faith. When we go to bed at night, we have faith that we're going to wake up in the morning. And then we go outside and we have faith that the sun is going to rise in the morning. And we go to work, we go to school, and we read the newspapers, and we just have faith that what people are saying is true. We even have faith in scientists. I want to mention scientists, we have faith in what politicians say. Well, okay. But even politicians need love. And love is at the center of everything, and faith is the basis of love and everything else.